So yesterday, I got to celebrate my youngest, Jack, who became a bar mitzvah. We had a small ceremony in our garden with a maximum of 10 men to make up a biblically mandated minyan. The day before was inclement and stormy, but the day of was dry and hot. Real hot. So hot, in fact, that the entire camera setup and camera itself, the computer setup and camera froze several times. We lost picture and sound intermittently, and we were able to rectify it. Also, our neighbors' lawns apparently had to get mowed at the exact moment when Jack was leading the service, and the air conditioning unit also felt the need to remind us how cool it was inside the house as opposed to outside the house where we were schwitzing. I didn't care. I didn't mind. I just dealt with it. I was at peace. In fact, the only other time in my life that I felt this at peace was the day that I got married. There was something so magnificent about the day and so inspiring about my son that it was impossible to feel anything but extreme calm, joy, and control over a litany of uncontrollable elements. Could I have anticipated the heat? Maybe. Or perhaps used an umbrella? Sure. Hindsight is 20/20, except of course in 2020. Instead of falling apart, we all stood strong and tall. We soaked up the moment as we soaked in the sun, as I soaked up my son. When the pandemic hit, many postponed or canceled their functions. This was, in a crazy way, one of the first times in 4 months that a bar mitzvah boy could read from a physical Torah in his own home, no less, with his entire family glued to the screen from as far afield as Australia, Israel, the United Kingdom, and South Africa. After 2 hours, there was no Zoom fatigue. We started to unmute people family by family to address the barmy boy. After 3 hours, we finally ended the function. There were still people on. And thank you, Zoom, a 6 gigabyte file downloaded successfully. So why would I have focused on anything that went wrong when so many wonderful things went right? It was, to coin a phrase, imperfectly perfect, or as my rabbi corrected me, authentically perfect. For a brief moment in time, there was no global pandemic, only a global love fest dedicated to my son. Mazel tov, Jack. I love you. Peace out, everybody. So those were my reflections about an amazing day that I will never forget, certainly for as long as I live. And what I wanted to do as well is share with you just a few photos. I think, you know, before this pandemic hit, I didn't necessarily share too much publicly. I mean, I'm public, but not so much. And then I realized if I could post these photos on Facebook, which I did, I'm definitely going to share it with you guys on Corona TV because you have become my family. And there is so much intimacy in this connection, in this bond that we have, whether it's the show, whether it's the after show, that it really is an honor and a privilege to just share a few photos with you. This was at the start. It's just a bit of a screenshot, but we used it was just a virtual background to kind of indicate, hey, look, we're in Israel like we thought we'd be in front of the wall. I love this photo. To me, it just captures, that's my family. Someone sent this in. You can see them watching on their computer. But for me, this was, this was the bar mitzvah that just happened to be on Zoom as opposed to the other way around. That's, again, a screenshot from Zoom of Jack in front of the Torah, and that's a photo as well. I don't know if you can see, but that's his teacher standing next to him. And we even had JZJ branded face masks, but that's Jack actually reading from the Torah. And then finally, just a photo of father and son before, and that was my speech to him. We actually ended up going inside because the computer was overheating, and just, everybody's socially distanced, and I loved it.